Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League Season 12 for round number 3 of the championship, the Portuguese Grand Prix. They are joining us for qualifying here at the Portimao circuit. Still relatively new to F1, having only joined us in 2020 during the COVID-stricken season. But regardless, it should show us some very exciting racing for us tonight. Introduced the F1 game back in September. We've really got our first few drivers making their way out for qualifying. For those of you who missed the last race, or the last few races so far this season, here's a quick look at your Drivers' Championship. Lucky Lambert leads the way after victory in Imola, and it's BJ in second place. Blaze Blaze to win the first race of the season, runs third, and he's tied for Paris T32 for fourth place. So hopefully the championship will hot up a little bit. Unfortunately, South Blaze isn't with us tonight. We're missing a few of our regulars, but hopefully we'll get them back for the upcoming races. But fortunately, the rest of our early title runners, those being BJ, Paris, and Lucky, all in the running for tonight's race, and hopefully they'll give us a decent fight. For we know one of them could take home victory. So right now we're watching the current championship leader, Lucky Lambert, on his outlap. Making his way around through sector 3. Curtis in the Mercedes is the first driver to start on a time lap. Of course, I feel like we'll be seeing a lot of times being invalidated tonight due to track limits, which could be an issue for some drivers more than others. In particular, one of these next few corners in sector 2 that Curtis is making his way up to as we speak. This upcoming right-hander where drivers are known to go wide if they go on the throttle too much. And have to be very careful there. We've managed to execute that one very nicely. And continues on through sector 2. So decent time so far, of course. We'll just be putting another banker lap to start with. So we won't be worrying too much about times just yet. Through sector 3 he comes now. He's got his teammate Ethan in the other Mercedes, also about a corner or so behind. But here comes Curtis at the first time. Oh, wait, no, Alex is at the first time in the evening. 1 minute 17.3. Does Curtis have enough to beat that over the line? It's 1 minute 17.1, so he's 2 tenths up. And here comes Ethan towards the line. What does he have? He goes third place at 1 minute 17.5, 2 tenths off of Alex. Huggy's the next driver to make his way through, but his left hand's been validated, so we're keeping an eye out now. That's one of the Williams cars. Here comes Lucky Lambert, the championship leader, goes fastest, 1 minute 17.1. Here comes Paris towards the line. What does he have? Well, no, he's just starting a lap, so he's all good. But Lucky Lambert, your championship leader, goes fastest by just over 100th of a second. Very, very close. Yeah, out comes his teammate JB Racer 1 in the other Haas, carrying on his first time run. PJ goes fourth, 1 minute 17.4 on the medium tyres, so he's definitely up there. Yellow flag, that's Lucky letting Huggy through, and McLaren will be letting PJ through as well. Great sportsmanship being showed there by our championship leader, who won't want to be jeopardising anyone else tonight, less of all his teammate. Here comes Paris now into sector 3 for the first time today. He set a purple sector 2, so he's done a very good job so far. Will he be able to make it? Make his way to the last corner, a very distinct last corner compared to other tracks. Like a very quick downhill slope. Here it comes towards the line. It's a 1 minute 16.8, so he's a good almost 3 tenths up on his championship rival at the moment. So great stuff there from Paris, who now leads the way. Websy in the Red Bull on his outlap. There comes Huggy towards the line. There's the rest of laps from him. A 1 minute 27. Definitely not the kind of start you would have wanted. As PJ fails to improve, it's just in front with those mediums. BJ is midway through sector 2 here. He's come to the end of sector 2. 58.6 his current time. Does he have enough to upset the front one? I think he may have made a mistake or two because his time is way off at this point, especially way off that of his teammate. Of course, BJ, who runs second in the Drivers' Championship, we're looking to try and take the lead today. Off the last corner and back towards the line. He's going to go up to 9th place in 1 minute 24.5. Definitely a time he's definitely capable of beating, knowing his ability. Towards the line to start his first time run. Landlord is also out on the track at the moment. Courtney Goblin and Dan 00A, both of whom were in decent contention for the victory at Imola last week. Both yet to lead the pits. As Paris makes his way in and set the pole time. Fergus went second with a 1 minute 17.0. And Lucky remains in third. Curtis still fourth. Alvar went fifth. Alex in sixth. He's lost place there because they got Honey over the line. 1 minute 17.2. And Caleb went slightly up on his time, but it wasn't enough to make any improvements. And for Agstad in sector 1 as these two jostle position to let each other through. Alvar goes way wide off the track just to let drivers through. He's just like BJ through as he's making his way towards the line now. He's 6 seconds better this time. I don't think that'll be enough for him to improve. He needs to have a great. He needs to finish this last section in great fashion. He's got Fergus there on his right. Making his way towards the line now. What's it going to be? He goes second by the tightest of margins. 1 minute 16.853, so just 400ths in it between the two Williams teammates. And these two have been on form in the first few races. Of course, both of them challenged for the victory in Bahrain, both losing out to South Blaze. And there's a reason these two Williams guys run run top of the Constructors' Championship, as well as second and fourth in the Drivers' Championship, is because they have the form that they're winning races here. BJ cuts across the track there just to get out of the way, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. As Fergus now into the pits, running third at the moment. Lucky now on his next outlap. So we'll be looking to improve on that 1 minute 17.1. Curtis on his outlap now on a set of medium tyres. Will he be able to get any improvements in those? We'll keep an eye on Lucky here as he starts on the track. Ethan's currently on an outlap as well. Salva's on a lap. Good start on the lap here. He's already gone a lap on those medium tyres. I can only assume the time was invalidated. From what I saw, it was a 1 minute, I think it's a 1 minute 19, so still a bit off. That would have put him in 12th place in front of JB, who's on his outlap right now. His first time was a 1 minute 47.2. So he's got work to do here. JB letting Lucky through here. Lucky now 3/10 up on his best sector 2 time. That could be enough at this point. It would depend if he can stay consistent with that time through sector 3. Does he have enough to make it? He's looking at a time in the low, definitely definitely a better time than what he had before. This could potentially be a pole position lap. He makes his way towards the line. Is it going to be enough? DRS opening now over the line. A 1 minute 16.794. Just under 200ths in it between Paris and Lucky. The latter of whom is on, the former of whom is on, coming out to pit now on his outlap. BJ State now goes down to third. Curtis is a bit slow in sector 1, but in sector 2 he's half second down. So on those mediums, not making the kind of progress he would have wanted. Landlord went 6th, the 1 minute 17.2 in the end. It's a great lap from him, especially on those medium tyres. If he can stay in the top 10 on those mediums within the last 7.5 minutes of the session, then he should have enough. It's called for great strategies. Alex goes fast in the Aston Martin, 1 minute 16.7. So faster still than Lucky Lambert's time, and these times could start dropping like flies here. As we head towards the closing minutes of the session, He's getting near closer to those minutes. Both Williams drivers on their outlap. Paris in sector 3 now, getting ready to get going. Who is next to cross the line? It may be one of the Mercedes cars here. And it's Ethan, who's in sector 3. Landlord now making his way into the pit lane. Once again, neither the Red Bull of Courtney Goblin or the AlphaTauri of Dan OA have made their way into the pit lane. Ethan rounds the far corner. The wins pride if he's made it clean this time. Yep, here he comes. Charges and they also go to Harris was a 10th up on his sector 1 time. Really good stuff from him so far. Could he try and snatch pole position back from Alex? The two Williams cars now 3rd and 4th. As I say, early favourites in the Constructors' Championship. They've got both their drivers in the race for the driver's prize. Here it comes. Lewis last right hand. Kevin up here to try and pull it off. Making his way towards the line. Does he have enough? It's going to be tight. And he gets it. 1 minute 16.5. He's a full two and a half tenths up. Great stuff there from Paris. And this now leaves Alex unlucky with a decent bit of work to do. VJ's making his way through sector 3 here. He was almost a half a second up on his sector 2 time. So he could snatch the pole position from under all 3 of these drivers' noses in one shot. Here he comes towards the line. Does he have enough? Over the line, a 1 minute 16.4. Even faster here. The 2 Williams cars definitely on top right now. And BJ now takes pole position. Incredible racing this is. I've got just under 5 minutes left to go, so I'll give both Alex and Lucky enough time to have their own goes. As JB's gone 5th here with a 1 minute 17.07. Fergus still in 6th, Curtis 7th, Landlord 8th, Ethan 9th, and Huggy 10th, and it's Alvaro 11th. Oh, Huggy's just, someone's just gone up. That's Websy, if I'm not mistaken. And Callan's gone up as well, half second up. He's now 1 minute 16.7. Great stuff here. The top 5 all set in 1 minute 16 times. It's not within 0.8 seconds until there's Luigi Sven joins the session. So we now get the other Ferrari in the qualifying run. We're up to 16 drivers for tonight's race, which is always good to see. So even if we can't get everyone in, we'll still try and get a decent chunk every week. Dan's just set 1 minute for 17.5, not too bad for his first lap. But he's immediately invalidated his next time, so that could be a huge damage, or huge bit of damage to his chances. The Williams drivers still up front, definitely not messing around. In comes BJ into the pits. Alvar's just gone into 6th, the 1 minute 16.8. Great stuff here. It's now 6 drivers to set 1 minute 16 times. What an amazing session this has been. And Alex goes way wide there and letting the McLaren of Huggy Bear through. Warming up his soft tyres, get himself ready for his next run. BJ into his pits now. Alex is on his outlap here. He got a bit screwed out that last corner there. That could have been, if he was on an actual lap, that could have been jeopardised. Oh, fresh set of tyres as well. Have to be nice and careful here. And we are at some point expecting the Haas car of Lucky Loudbird back out onto the racetrack. Of these top 5 guys, it's only Alex who's out on the track. Will the Williams cars try one last run? They've got just over 2 minutes to try and get out there. So Alex makes it for the last corner of the start. What could be the first of what looks to be 2 timed runs. Here we go. Clear track in front of him, save for the McLaren of Huggy Bear, who's also on a lap. If the McLaren makes a mistake, then that could seriously hold up this Aston Martin driver as Paris now goes into that lap. Lucky also on an out lap as well. Lucky now letting Alex through. Very sportsmanlike play there, sacrificing his own lap for that of a driver trying looking to take pole position. Alex definitely has a chance here, he's not messing around. Let's see what the time looks like when he makes his way over the line for sector 2. He's invalidated, he's going to invalidate the time. The time is a 10th up, or just under 2 tenths up, but he's invalidated. He's going to get one more chance here at setting a time. As will Khaled, as will Lucky, as will BJ, and as will Power. So we're keeping an eye on these 4 drivers here, at least 5 drivers. If Alex is still going to go for another lap. Webster's retired. Satisfied with that P10 for the time being, which could change as Alex starts what will be his final lap and his last chance to take pole. Paris over the lines, get his lap underway. BJ making his way towards the line. Khaled over the line as to start his last lap. 20 seconds to go. How's Alex looking? He's a 10th up. The lap is still valid. He's done a great job so far. Watch the clock here, it's definitely not over. Here he comes. 10.5 up. At this rate, it won't be enough for him to improve on his position. It'll be enough to improve his time. Paris' time is invalid, so his chance to take a pole position is done. The jacket flag is up. Alex now making his way towards the line. Does he have enough to take pole position? Here he comes to the line. It's no improvement. There is an improvement, but not by much. Curtis was down in sector 1 time. He's 8 seconds down in sector 2. What can Khaled do? Paris is pulling over. He knows he's had it. Khaled goes 3rd. What? I think that might be it. I think this will be pole position. Unless Courtney Goblin can do something about it, but I doubt he can at this point. BJ over the line. Curtis stays 5th, and BJ Van Leeuwen. It's a front row lockout for Williams, and it's BJ Van Leeuwen who looks to take the championship lead today, who puts it on pole position for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Incredible stuff here. Great session. Everyone giving it their best. I do have news that Luigi Sven will not make it for tonight's race, which is unfortunate. But the grid's separated by just over a second, not counting Courtney Goblin's time that was 12 seconds off. But with that, you guys, that is the end of qualifying. I do hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the start of the race. So we'll see you then. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Racist Driving League Season 12, round number 3 of the championship, the Portuguese Grand Prix, here at the relatively new Portimao circuit, new to the F1 game from October. It's been out for a few months now, and it's already given us an exciting qualifying session tonight, so hopefully it'll give us an exciting race too. It's the two Williams cars who have locked out the front row for tonight's event, with BJ Van Leeuwen and both BJ and Paris 232 trying to take the championship lead away from Lucky Lambo, who won the last race at Imola. You can go and check that one out if you haven't already. You can go and check that one out before if you want to get yourself caught up on the season. There will be a playlist coming out later tonight of all the races this season. So looking forward to tonight's race. We're getting word now that the drivers are readying up. So it was time for the start of the race. Good luck to all the drivers who are taking part in tonight's event. And without further ado, we'll wait now to get this one underway. 10 seconds to go. Drivers getting the last of their setups in. If you are new to the channel and to the Racist Driving League, do consider subscribing to be able to see all of the coverage of this season's races. So here we go then for the formation lap, and with that I will take you through the starting grid for tonight's 33 lap race here in Portimao. It's BJ on pole position for Williams, followed by Paris 232. His teammate on the front row is PJ Khaled, who goes third for McLaren. Alex 232, 34461 for Aston Martin in fourth. It's Curtis in fifth place for Mercedes, and our championship leader Lucky Lambert running sixth for Haas after winning the last time out at Imola. And it's Ferguson seventh for Alfa Romeo. He's had a solid season so far. Hopefully he'll be looking to try and improve on the place he's finished so far. It's Alvar in eighth. Will be without his teammate Luigi Sven tonight after a late issue on his end. JB starts in 9th place for Haas. Then it's Websy in 10th, Landlord in 11th, Ethan 12th, Huggy 13th, Dan 14th, and finally Company Goblin, who is a full 12 seconds off in qualifying, starts in 15th place. So we'll give you a look now at the Drivers' Championship going into this one. Oops, pressed the wrong button there, my bad. So it's Lucky Lambert who leads by 11 points to BJ in second place, and it's South Blaze in third, who's not here tonight, just 1 point off of BJ, and it's Paris who's tied with him in fourth, and Curtis not too far behind, with Fergus back in sixth place for Alfa Romeo. And then we can get a look at your constructors standings as well. It's Williams who lead the way on 51 points, Alfa Romeo in second place, a mere 8 points back. Then it's Haas in third, Mercedes fourth, McLaren round out your top half, and it's Aston Martin, Red Bull, Alpine, AlphaTauri, and Ferrari, the only team to have not scored a point so far in season 12. So the drivers are making their way around then to the grid for the start of what should be a very entertaining Portuguese Grand Prix as Paris goes through BJ there. That should sort itself out in just a moment. Have a look at everyone's starting tyres for the race. 13 of our 15 runners tonight are starting on the soft tyres, save for Salve Landlord and Huggy Bear 89, who are both starting on mediums. Starting outside the top 10 gives them an additional strategy choice, so all is not lost for them. They've definitely got a good chance. So this should be a very exciting race here tonight. Here we go, the last of the drivers forming up at the back of the grid, and we shall begin now with getting this Grand Prix underway. So here we go then, 5 red lights for the start of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Round number 3 of the championship in the Racist Driving League Season 12 is underway. And off they charge, all 15 of them towards turn 1. BJ with an excellent getaway with Paris, jumps back into line behind him. PJ and Alex go side by side into that first corner. It's the Aston Martin who gets the edge on this particular occasion. BJ's had the start of dreams here, and he leads away. Really good stuff from him. Very clean start from him as well. Courtney Goblin's getting 2 places in the back. Webbsy's moving up. PJ trying to get back, trying to hold off Curtis, and Mercedes here is all single file right now as everyone charges down towards that next left-hander. Curtis is on the inside trying to take 4th place. Alvar's got Landlord on his outside. It's going to be tight between those two. I think I saw a bit of wheel bang in there, but they're all good. But it's BJ who leads now from Paris, Alex, PJ Khaled, and Curtis. So really great stuff then from BJ, who got the start he definitely would have wanted going onto the grid for the start of this one, and he leads now by just under half a second. But he's had to be careful though. He's has to try and develop a lead as much as he can before the DRS comes in on the start of lap number 3. Keeping an eye on JB here in the back, who's trying to make a move past the Huggy Bear in the McLaren. Position change so far. Landlord's had a great start. He gained 3 places as opposed to JB, who's lost 3 places, so he's got a bit of work to do here so far. But regardless, the two Williams drivers have remained consistent. There's been no aggression between those two so far. BJ shows the way off the final corners, complete the first lap of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Sets the fastest lap there, 1 minute 21.097. It's all single file, save for the McLaren and the Haas who are going at it behind us. Going down towards turn 1. Will JB look to the inside? Nope, stays in line, thinks better of it. Through turn 1. Oh, he got a little bit loose there. Got over the curve a bit, but he's all good. Stays behind Huggy. He's got Courtney Goblin for company just behind him there. Paris is closing in, but he's not close enough to go for a move. It'd be too far a gap between them, as there goes Lucky Lambert, a championship leader, trying to go around the outside of Curtis for P5. Unable to get it done on this particular occasion. Curtis moves back up in front, but will Lucky look again? Moves back into line. He's got Fergus for the company just behind him, so he's not going to make any mistakes as Fergus will pounce. Alex now trying to close in on the 2 Aston Martin, sorry, on the 2 Williams cars. He's closed a decent amount on Paris. He's right up his gearbox there as they make their way through towards the start of sector number 3 here. BJ's getting away now. The gap now half a second between those two, between the two leaders. I think this might be enough here for BJ to take over the championship lead. He was 11 points back going into this one. And there's your predicted pit stop strategies to make our way around for the start of lap number 3 here. We're looking for pit stops between lap 9 and 12 for your first stint, and then between lap 19 and 22 for the second stint. BJ sets the fastest lap there, 1 minute 19.8. The DRS will be enabled the next time we go down this next DRS straight. There it is, the message from race control. Fire by everyone here, making their way towards turn 1. No fight's gone on for the time being, but that could change as we make our way down this next straight. Paris might want to use some of his ERS here. As well as the DRS, he wants a good chance of making his way past his teammate. BJ's used a decent chunk of his DRS so far already. Everyone's within a second of each other at this point, so everyone save for BJ will have DRS. Paris is sticking close to the back of his teammate. We'll have to be careful because Alex is also there as well. Through the end of sector 2 and the start of sector 3 here. BJ went up on his time slightly. Of course, there's 1 extra point for the driver who has the fastest lap come the end of the race. And given how close it's been so far this season, those points could prove crucial coming to the end of the year. Save for those points you get for finishing in the top 10. There are an extra 20 points up for grabs in total for those fastest laps. This is where the DRS will become the most handy down this main straight as Paris is closing in. Curtis sets the fastest lap, 1 minute 19.5. It's not gonna stop Paris. On the way down to turn 1, the Williams teammates go side by side, giving each other space. It's great racing here. It looks like Paris might just have the lead. The 2 former Alfa Romeo teammates from season 11 going at it here as PJ Callaghan gets all kinds of out of shape on the exit of that last corner. Here comes Paris though on the left once again. He might have enough to take the lead this time. When he does, he's forced his team out slightly there. BJ was still down the outside, but Paris now takes the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix as Landlord moves past Fergus. Those two battling back there in the race for the 7th spot. These two go side by side. Will they keep it clean in this right-hander? Yes, they will. And it's Fergus who gets the edge, and he'll take over 7th place. Landlord now has Alvar all over him, trying to capitalise. He's trying to go around the outside, out the inside, going to his next right-hander. And there he goes. The Ferrari up into 8th place, but that could be only for the moment. Landlord going to tab wide, but he's still down the inside. They're still side by side here. This is great stuff. There he goes, underneath. Landlord holding on to 8th for the time being. Paris is getting away here. I think he's trying to use his DRS to try and gain an advantage. Trying to get out of DRS range. And BJ is still within that 1 second gap. He's got to be careful. Here comes Alex with a great run off the last corner. He might have a go at trying to take 2nd place here. Over the line and back towards turn 1. Alex using almost all of his DRS, and he takes 2nd here. Actually, as he's taking 2nd, he's all good for the time being. BJ just about comes up in front of him. That could have been nasty should they've got any closer. It really doesn't get any closer at times like this. Curtis looking to try and go around the outside of PJ Callaghan here. Unable to do so. He's going to have the DRS of this next corner, but so will the McLaren. Alex not close enough. Curtis looking to the inside, goes a lot later on the brakes. Oh, this is exciting racing. Oh, and he's lost the car and around he goes. No! Curtis in the race for that 4th spot has lost out and he's fallen all the way to the back of the pack. And that is not what we would have wanted to see from the Mercedes driver, who now find both the team's cars in P13 and P15 respectively. It's now Williams in all-out control, still at the front of the field, 5 laps in. We are now without one of those main contenders from qualifying. Curtis all the way at the back now, and he's got serious work to do if he wants to get back in this race, as JB gets hit with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. We'll keep an eye on those penalties towards the end of the race, because eventually they will stack up and be tacked onto the finishing time. It could make a major change in the positions. So at this point then, BJ does not have enough to take over the championship lead. He'd need a victory at this point, with Lucky being where he is. And that could change him. He could try and take 4th going into turn 1. He'll be the next driver to try and take PJ on. Alex very close to the back of BJ here. And he'll have DRS on the exit. This one could get tense. Here they go. BJ opens up the outside line, forces Alex the long way round. He could try and get a switchback here. He does get the switchback, but he's not inside. And he might try and look here, going into this next right-hander. He's got the space. Oh, BJ kind of slamming the door there, but all good. Closing the door very gently on him there. And to allow Paris to get away now. He's out of DRS range for the first time in this race. BJ still holding on to 2nd place, but it's being forced to defend rather than thinking about the drop going on the attack. And Alex is now into 4th. Not quite sure what's happened to PJ here. He may have spun out. I've completely missed that. So apologies on my end there, but he's fallen all the way to the back. Like I said, I do apologise for missing that. I'm not sure there was contact between him or Lucky or what. But that's now 2 of our main contenders from qualifying down and out in the back of the pack. Alex, the great exit. BJ got a better one there. He's closing in on Paris, so he may have a decent chance going down the next DRS straight if he can stay close enough. Alex is still right there with him. Oh, BJ went a bit wild on exit there, so there comes the Aston Martin, who could take advantage here. Will BJ force him around the outside again? Alex choosing not to use the DRS. I think he might try and go for it from a long way back. Was there contact there? And there may have been contact. BJ's gone way wide, and Alex could try and get there. Unable to do so as Huggy moves up past Websy into 8th place. Paris has been caught over time. The gap is now once again within a second, but that could change as Ferguson is the 2nd driver to get hit with 3 seconds. Yellow flag, and Ferguson may have spun here. Well, he's losing places left, right, and centre. He's now down to 12th place. That's a third of some of the stronger drivers from qualifying to fall through the pack. Towards the DRS detection zone, I think Paris might actually be safe here. But he's slowing up there. I'm not sure if he's doing that. I'm not sure if he's trying to get his teammate DRS, and he has got his teammate DRS. That's paid off. The Williams drivers, great plays there in order to keep BJ in range. But it could mean that Alex going to go for a move. He may go around the outside. Chooses not to, or didn't really have enough space to try and go for it. But he might look to the inside here. He suddenly changes his line. He's trying to go back around the outside. Want to get the better run off this last left-hander. Lucky's closing on these guys. This could become a 4-car battle before we know it. Great stuff between these top 3 here. I mean, if the race was to end now, these 3 would be well deserving of their spots in the rostrum. But, like I said, really good racing so far. Save for what's happened to PJ Curtis and Fergus, who's closed back in to the rest of the pack now. He was there to begin with. Curtis is a good 3 seconds back. Canada's almost half a second behind. Through sector 3 they come. I'm not sure what the tactic here is. The Paris to slow up if he's too far out of range, just to allow BJ to get that better run off the last corner so he can hold off Alex. It's really great stuff between these 2 Williams teammates. You do love to see it. Lucky's within DRS range now of Alex. Aston Martin has no ERS left, so can't go for a move. He's sticking to the back as Lucky gets hit with a 3-second time penalty. 3 drivers now with multiple warning infringements. Oh, and Alex loses a little bit of that last corner there. He's still going nice and easy, but he's lost a decent chunk of time, and Lucky could now capitalise on that. Yellow flag in sector 1. That might be Fergus who's made a mistake here. He's dropped back to P14. Curtis has now caught him. As Caleb makes it over the last corner here. I believe Caleb actually made a stop in the end. He did. He set the fastest lap there. 1 minute 19.2. Really good stuff from him there, but no, the only driver to have made a stop so far. As for gaining places, both Landlord and Huggy have done a great job so far. And those are the 2 drivers, I remind you, who started, if I'm not mistaken, on the medium tyres. So this strategy could really pay off for them because they are making their way through the field. Alex, once again, right on the gearbox of BJ as they make their way towards the last corner. Paris not backing up here. Not by much anyway, because BJ had the DRS, and there goes Lucky diving into the pits. He's got any Goblin, now gets a 3-second time penalty. Alex closing in. Does he go for it? He does not. Really great stuff through turn 1 here. Look how close these 2 are. That doesn't get any closer. On the DRS here. No point trying to go for a move from there. PJ now with a 3-second time penalty. That will not be what he would have wanted to see. As Fergus is in the pits, making a change onto hard tyres here. I think he may have had front wing damage, because that pit stop took an exceptionally long time. Regardless, he's out of his pit stop now and back out onto the racetrack, albeit in P15, was looking to be a good 8-second drift of 14th place. Alex now up into second here, and BJ's hit the wall there. He's lost his front wing, if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, he still got his front wing, but it may have spun out. Yeah, he has lost his front wing completely, and this could be a mega blow for BJ, who was looking to try and take the championship lead today, but it looks like Lucky may hold on to it. And it now leaves Paris without any support behind him. It's now Alex who's been left on his own to try and chase down the Williams driver, but not what he would have wanted to see for BJ. All of the major runners from qualifying, 4 of them running into issues. Sorry, no, still 3 of them, but Lucky made a stop. He's all good. BJ now into the pits. And what will he do here? This is around the time we're expecting drivers to make their first pit stops anyway. So he may not actually lose out too much. He'll lose a bit of time because of the spin and the time he definitely lost with no front wing. What will he make a change onto now? He's onto a set of medium tyres. So that makes me think he's going to try and go for a 2-stop at the end of this one. The front wing change being made, and he is away. Khaled now, PJ Khaled looking to P13. Here comes Fergus at the last corner. He'll be up into P14 potentially. As BJ makes his way out, this could be tight through turn 1. BJ gets out ahead. This now leaves Paris all on his own up front. He's now to back up for anyone to allow his teammates to stay in DRS range. So Alex is still there at 1.5 seconds behind. Will we see either one of these 2 come into the pits for their first stops of the day? Paris stays out, Alex stays out. Man lost on those medium tyres. Will Alvar make a change? He stays out as well. Keep an eye on the tyres here. Here comes JB into the pits. The only driver running on the stats has made a stop. I'm going to look at who has made stops here. So bottom 5 drivers have almost stopped in the back. Here comes another stop number 6. He's going to a set of hard tyres here, so he's trying to go for that 1 stop, but could take him to the end of the race. Though in the case of a late safety car, similar to how he had last week in Imola, he could actually go into a set of soft tyres at the end. But these tyres will definitely get him to check the cloud. Without a doubt. So Paris still leads then. He's got just under 1.5 seconds. That is the gap that's staying consistent throughout this whole race. He's done a really good job so far. Alex still trying to close in. keep an eye on this three-car race between Cotty Goblin, Dan, and Ethan. Three different constructors all going at it. Paris, does he make a stop? He stays out. Alex also stays out. We're expecting Landlord to keep on going for a decent number of laps. Alvar staying out. Does Cotty Goblin come in? Here comes Ethan in the Mercedes. Curtis's teammate stays out. I'm assuming he'll be looking to pit the next time round. And here comes stop number 7. Alex now gets hit with a 3-second time penalty. And that will mean Paris, for the time being, can breathe easy. He'll still want to try and hold on to the lead. But technically, officially as of now, he has a 4.2 second advantage. Back to the Aston Martin. And right now, they'll put South Landlord in second place. But only just in second place. By just over half a second. They're still waiting on the top 8 to come into the pits. We won't be seeing Huggy or Landlord in there for a little while. But we're still waiting on 6 of these drivers to come in for stops. Paris, Alex, Alvar, Cotty, Dan and Curtis are taking these tyres as long as they can be taken. And it looks like this is it. Oh, Paris has tried to trick Alex. Trying to fake a stop. Unable to do so, and he's lost time for doing that here. Because Alex is now within a second. And that sudden tactics choice could be the end of Paris' lead for all we know. Depending on how much Alex closes in, he's going to have the DRS. He's almost within half a second now. Look at things right now in the way of stops. Lucky Lambert is the highest running driver to have made a stop. So I reckon that could definitely take him up into podium places once things are done. And it does look like with BJ being down in 14th, that it does look like he'll take the leader, he'll retain the lead of the championship, rather. Alex still giving chase. Will either one of these two make a stop this time? Will Paris try and fake a stop again? Keeping on Landlord is not too far behind. Oh, and he's tried it again. It hasn't quite paid off for him though. Alex closes in a little bit more. And the same tactic that lost him time the first time round has lost him even more time as Alvar finally calls it quits, enters the pit lane. Curtis and Dan both staying out. Alex now right there on the back of Paris. Through the left-hander. Look how close they get. Huggy now hit with a 3-second time penalty. So that's 7 of our 15 runners to now have those to their names. Alex here has to stay nice and calm, stay right behind Paris. Does the Williams driver have a trick up his sleeve? Look at the Drivers' Championship going into this one. Look where Paris was. Paris is 12 points back. As of now, that is enough. If Lucky finishes outside of the top 4 and Paris wins the race, that means he takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Does Paris come in this time? He does. And Alex follows him in. Almost nothing separating these two as Landlord takes the lead. Huggy will no doubt take second place. But in comes Huggy into the pits. Now this could be a strange predicament here because Huggy's coming at the halfway stage, and that means he'll have to go to a set of hard tyres. He's going to set hard tyres, and he may have snooked himself here because he definitely could have run those tyres a bit longer as he comes out just in front of Dan, who's making his way in for AlphaTauri. And Huggy may have snooked himself here because he's starting on the set of medium tyres and he's pitted the halfway stage, and he couldn't go on to another set of mediums because that'd be against the. Because he has to use at least 2 different tyre compounds in a dry race. And he knew the softs wouldn't make it to the end, so he's been forced to put on the slower tyres. he'll make it to the end, but if he wants a chance of contending, then he'll need... Langlois has to stop for a moment, and Webster may have just spun out there, and his contact to him and Curtis there, he hit him on the way past. And that is rather unpleasant. But of course, completely unintentional, I assume. And lucky now, matters worse for Paris has come out in front. Paris is now chasing the Haas for the race lead. South Landlord needs to stay out as we hit the halfway stage of this race. He's still in control. Paris trying to get within DRS range. He's got a decent amount of his DRS now stored up. He's within DRS range as well. So it comes out down the main straight. The gap, half a second between those two. And the race for what should be the top spot. Lucky is maybe losing time to Landlord here. You may be too concerned fighting Paris to really notice. The gap's almost 20 seconds between those two. I'm not entirely sure how long it takes to make it through the pit lane for a routine pit stop here at Portimao. But Landlord's going to come out at least 1 or 2 seconds behind these guys running in the race for what should be the top spot. As Webster makes his way into the pits. I think that's the second time today he's making his way in. He's gone to another set of medium tyres, which means he will have to make one more stop before the end of this race, if I'm not mistaken. That was his second stop of the race. Well, no, he did start on a set of soft tyres, so he's okay. So he can make it into the race on those tyres without needing to make another stop. So that's my mistake. Paris right in the back of Lucky here. This could be the battle of the races. Lucky goes wide there. Not sure what he's trying, but Paris could be about to take second place without a fight. Alex sets the fastest lap just behind them here, and we could be about to go 3 abreast. Alex moves up into 3rd and closing on Paris, who gets the job done. Paris starts into 2nd place, and that should be the lead when Landlord makes his way in. He's still 19.5 in front. But Lucky's lost both places there by going wide in the last corner. As Alex now chases Paris once again. And right now, this race needs a safety car in order to bunch everyone back up again. But I don't see how I'll be able to get that. Short of a mistake by someone. Paris closing in a little bit now. The gap is just under 19 seconds. She set a purple sector 2 there, so really great stuff from the Williams. And in comes Landlord, calling it a day. Now, what will he do here? Will he try and go on a set of soft tyres to the end of the race? It's all to play for him here. He's definitely still got a chance of scoring a decent haul of points for AlphaTauri and trying to get them a little bit higher than 9th in the Constructors. He's on to a set of soft tyres. He's out of the pits. And there go the leaders. So Landlord could be in a decent position here. He's down to 4th, but as I predicted, he's only a couple seconds off. He's on a fresh set of soft tyres, so he doesn't have a penalty. So he could be on par with battling Paris later on, but Alex is taking that mantle right now. In the race for what is now the top spot, Alex closing in, looks to the left-hand side. Paris tries to move over to cover, but he has no help. Move Alex back up a slot. He's now your new race leader, but here comes Paris on the left, trying to make his way back through. They go side by side into the round, and no contact between them. Into the next corner, still no contact. They're gonna go wheel to wheel here. Bit of contact there, a little bit of wheel banging, and Alex calls it quits, backs out, slots in behind Paris here. But really great battle there between those two. Incredibly sportsmanlike, little to no contact, and that's what we do like to see. Curtis now gets hit with a time penalty. Yellow flag. And that is Curtis there, so I think he may have spun out or done something. I'm not quite sure what that was. Alex will have DRS. He's already got a decent run on Paris thanks to the DRS he's used in the last corner. Lucky will be looking to close in. South Landlord trying to close the gap. Alex right on the back of Paris to make the way through turn 1 here. Into the right-hander of turn 3. Opening up the DRS once again. It's Alex trying to close in, but there won't be any move for the lead this time. Lando needs to close in. Now to confirm, everyone has now made a stop. So everyone will go to the end of the race on the tyres they are running. And right now, there are 8 drivers with penalties, 2 of which are in this lead pack. Alex has 6 seconds with him, Lucky has 3. Paris at a decent advantage here, but if Lando can get past them both, then he should have a decent chance of winning the race. He does need to close up first, and that's his main task. But he doesn't want to wear those soft tyres out too much, because there is a decent chance that it will make it to the end of the race. In the way of penalties, it does look like Lucky will definitely finish 4th in this wheel, potentially 3rd due to Alex's penalties in 6 seconds. Speaking of Alex, he's following the toe of Paris on the way down to turn 1. He's closing in. Lando now sits the fastest lap, 1 minute 18.4. So the battle for the lead rages on out front. They may not know that Lando is closing in, and we could see a 4th protagonist in this race for the top spot. Lucky's dropping back here. He's fallen out of the DRS range. Alex and Paris continue to duel up front. No move making this time, as PJ and Dan battle for P7, and the McLaren driver getting the edge in this occasion. We head back to the line where just 12 laps to go as Alex made a terrible exit there. Not quite sure what's going on there. He lost the car big time, and now Lucky's closing in. Paris is getting away. And Lando's closing in as well. He's just within a second and a half now of the championship leader. Paris now a huge advantage. He's now a second and a half in front. We're at the last corner now, back towards the line. 12 laps to go. And now what was the battle for the lead will now turn into the battle for second. The Haas driver is so very close to the Aston Martin in front, while Paris tries to get away and build a lead. Lucky didn't get a good enough exit there. He was almost half a second out to begin with. We'll be taking second place on this particular occasion. I think either Lucky or Landlord locked up there as Curtis moved past his teammate Ethan for 11th place. And they'll be chasing the Red Bull of Courtney Goblin, who currently holds on to the final championship point. Look at this, Landlord hasn't actually scored a point this season in these opening 2 races. He is closing in now on what looks to be a podium position, 2nd place at minimum, and could take the victory. Depends how well he can do on those soft tyres over the course of the next 11 and a bit laps. It's still Paris in control here. Makes it to the last corner. Keeping an eye on Landlord here, he's got a lot of DRS and DRS down the straight. He's really closing in on Lucky here. He's at purple sector 3. He could be on course for purple sector 1 at this rate. Landlord up into 3rd place. He's up on the rostrum now and begins to chase down Alex, who's 1.3 seconds in front and trying to close on the race leader Paris. I don't think Lucky's done just yet as PJ makes his way into the pits. Going on to what I can only assume will be a set of soft tyres in this race. Onto a fresh set of softs. Landlord trying to close in. Lucky trying to cling on to what he has left. But right now, he should retain the championship lead. If I'm not mistaken, he only has 3 seconds off of penalties. Yes, he does. That is enough for him to hold on to things. Paris up front can win the race. And if I'm not mistaken, he can tie the championship. Well, actually, that's my maths being wrong. If he wins this race and Lucky finishes in 4th, he'll take the lead of the championship by 1 point, if I'm not mistaken. But Alex still has 6 seconds worth of penalties, and Lucky's within 6 seconds. So I am still correct in the end. Lucky will retain the lead of the championship should things stay the same. Down the main straight. Everything's all split up for the time being right now. And we are essentially waiting for either Landlord to close in on Alex, or for Lucky's trying to move on the DRS. Not coming together, and Paris is keeping consistent here, doing the job he needs to do, just bring the car home at this point for the victory, because the guys behind him have penalties, save for Landlord, who's still closing in. We'll take a look at the gap to the leader here. The gap is 2.6 seconds, so he's got work to do. He can definitely pull it off, but he's still got a lot of things to do. And one of those things is to find a way past as Aston Martin has been so strong all evening. Still Paris out front though. Have a look through the field here. So there's a decent battle going on between the two Mercedes cars, the Red Bull of Cotney Goblin, and BJ, who's closing in, trying to take some points home, trying to salvage what he can for what has no doubt been a miserable evening for him. Can't imagine he's too happy with the way things have gone down. Now just closing in. He's got the ERS wide open. Alex had none left, so if it was me, I'd save a bit of it. Lucky's out of DRS range, and his only hopes now are just clinging on to the fact that Alex is a penalty. But if he can't stay within that gap, then it does mean that Paris takes the championship lead, provided he goes on to win the race. As BJ now gets hit with a 3-second time penalty, I can only assume that will only dampen his mood. Landlord now within a second, only just within a second, as PJ says the fastest lap, 1 minute 18.2. That takes the fastest lap point away from everyone in the top 10. Well, I believe he already had it, if I'm not mistaken. Landlord needs to solidify himself within that 1 second gap, because he's got the ERS. If he can get a DRS, then Alex might not have a prayer down this main straight. But still want to stay there for a couple of corners. No mistakes here. Fallen out of DRS range briefly. I don't think he got it this time. He didn't get it this time. So he's going to have to use some of that ERS to try and close in, get to the next DRS zone. All the while Alex is closing in slightly on Paris here. The gap now 1.2 seconds. But he gets hit with another penalty. And that makes things all the easier for Lucky Lambo, who now just needs to hold on. And he should retain the lead of the championship. Short of some kind of mistake, but he's got a penalty as well. Landlord now almost within half a second. This race is in no way over. With around 8 laps to go, maybe 7. My maths with lap numbers aren't the best. Sector 3 once again. Landlord doing the job that needs to be done. Making his way through Sector 3 here. He lost the time last time. He loses a bit this time, but it's still enough for him to stay within DRS range. He's got what he needs. He's got half a tank of DRS. He's got the DRS wide open as they make their way down the main straight. Look at the run he gets down towards this first corner. Will it be enough to take the Aston Martin on into turn 1? It's going to be tight. Will he go for it? He stays in line. Still got a decent chunk of his ERS left. Alex is still within those 10% strands, as is Paris, who may have slid a bit there at the last corner. Here we come this time. Well, Landlord, look, no he doesn't, and that's another lap where this is the first couple of opportunities where he could have got past, but was unable to do so. Goblin now with a 3-second time penalty. only 5 drivers right now do not have penalties to their name, 2 of which are in this top 4, fighting for the lead. I say top 4, it's now kind of the top 3. But Lucky is dropping back. He's currently around 4 seconds off. If he loses another 2 seconds, then that could be it. He may finish in 4th. Landlord out of DRS. Oh no, he's still within DRS range. Well, he won't use the ERS this time. 6 laps to go here. Alex has closed in on Paris. The gap is now within a second between all 3 of these guys. Alex was within a second of Paris, but Landlord's within a second of Alex. How's this one going to end? 3-car race for the victory. And with the DRS, that should mean that Lucky Lambert should drop back. So there's a chance he doesn't retain the championship lead after this one. Because Alex is pretty much out of the running, and right now he's battling to finish 3rd. But attempt to take the victory on track. It's definitely not over. Anything could happen in these final 5 laps. But this is turning into what could be... Oh, Alex losing it a bit there. And Landlord could try and capitalise in sector 3. This is all shaping up to be an absolutely barnstorming Racers Driving League finish, as so often gets produced race after race so far. In the first race, we have South Blaze spin out on the penultimate lap to be harangued by both Williams cars and then take the win. In Imola, we had a late change in the weather, a late change in Lucky Lambert's fortunes to take the win, and now we've got a 3-car fight for the victory, which could become 2, because there goes Landlord on the left into turn 1, and he takes 2nd place away, and he's gone way wide in response, and they're making contact between those 2, and that's allowing Paris to get away. What's just happened there? And that could have potentially handed Paris the victory.